Every year at Congregation, the University of British Columbia has the honor of bestowing honorary degrees on up to 10 individuals who, in the opinion of the university community, the professoriate, have fit the criteria of excellence and eminence in their chosen field. We have an amazing group of honorary degree recipients this year, and individuals who have won a National Medal of Science, are members of almost all the honorific societies, who have won the Nobel Prize, who have literally transformed entire fields. And in some cases, for example, in the honorary degree recipient at this ceremony, transformed multiple fields. Professor Dr. Leroy Hood is one of these individuals, and I invite him to step forward to receive the honorary doctorate from the University of British Columbia. Let's give him a round of applause. Mr. Chancellor, Leroy Hood has been a good friend to this university. He is an American biologist who has developed a number of groundbreaking scientific instruments which have enabled major advances in the treatment of serious illness. These patented inventions include the first automated DNA sequencer, which was an enabling technology for the entire Human Genome Project, a protein sequencer, which was instrumental in the development of a protease inhibitor for the treatment of AIDS. In addition to his scientific contributions, he has also played a key role in founding 15 biotechnology companies, including Amgen, one of the world's largest independent such companies. He received his MD from the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine in 1964 and a PhD from the California Institute of Technology in 1968, where he subsequently became full professor and chairman of the Division of Biology. In 1991, he moved to Seattle to found and direct the Department of Molecular Biotechnology at the University of Washington School of Medicine. In addition to his groundbreaking research, he has published over 750 papers, received 36 patents, 17 honorary degrees, and is one of only 15 individuals elected to all 3 national academies: the National Academy of Science, the National Academy of Engineering, and the National Academy of Medicine, formerly known as the Institute of Medicine, or IOM. Dr. Hood is also the recipient of over 100 national and international awards, including the 2002 Kyoto Prize in Advanced Technology and the 2006 Heinz Award for pioneering work in systems biology, to name only a few of those 100 national and international honors. In 2013, he was presented with the United States' most notable and highest honors in science, the National Medal of Science, from the then U.S. President Barack Obama. Mr. Chancellor, in recognition of a lifetime of transformative innovation, leading to new medicines and advancements in global healthcare, I ask you to confer the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, upon Leroy Hood.
By authority of the Senate of this university, I confer upon you, Leroy Hood, the title and degree Doctor of Science honoris causa. Congratulations.
It is a great honor to be able to present to you such a remarkable scientist. As I said, he's been a great friend to the University of British Columbia. In the 2 years I've been here, I've seen him twice, and he has really interacted not only with faculty members, but also with students. And he's going to do that again this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Dr. Leroy Hood, now a member of the UBC family, a round of applause as he gives some words of advice to you.
I've been in science more than 50 years, and I'll say that this is the most exciting time in science and engineering in that entire time. I really envy all of you and what you're going forward to. In fact, I grew up in a very small town in Montana. My father was an electrical engineer who taught courses in the summer to his telephone men, which I attended. And those courses in circuit design and systems theory profoundly affected how I thought about biology throughout my life. I thought what would be interesting would be to tell you of a series of paradigm changes. I've gone through 7 of them over the last 50 years or so, and make the point there is an enormous opportunity and role for engineering and biology. The first paradigm change I began at Caltech in the 1970s when I brought engineering to biology, developing 4 instruments then and 2 instruments later that allowed one to read and write DNA. And what these instruments did that was transformational is for the first time you could make measurements on human beings at a very high rate of speed, and these generated the data that led to big data and its analytics. Key expertise you have and that biology needs. One of these instruments, the automated DNA sequencer, got me invited to the first meeting ever on the Human Genome Project. And what I came away in the first 5 years of advocacy about the Human Genome Project is the enormous opposition. Initially, 80% of the biologists were against it. The National Institutes of Health was against it. But in 5 years, we persuaded the country, in fact, to initiate this program, joined together by many companies. And what it did was revolutionary. It gave us access to the variability in human beings that can be correlated with wellness or disease phenotypes, something medicine is using today. The automated DNA sequencer was interesting because it required bringing together engineering, chemistry, computer science, and biology. And I realized that in the future, biology should be done in this cross-disciplinary context where biology could drive technology and it in turn could create the analytics for analyzing the information. Bill Gates gave me the chance in 1992 to move to the University of Washington and start the first such cross-disciplinary department. And in its 8 years of existence, it developed spectacular technologies in genomics and proteomics and single-cell analysis and in cell biology as well as computational biology. But at the end of that period of time, I realized what my major goal was to create an Institute of Systems Biology. This was the awareness that biology is an informational science and that it is a science that should look at data in the sense of making it global and holistic, integrative and hierarchical. And we created such an institute in 2000 and pointed it immediately at both biology and disease. And in pointing at disease, we defined for the future 2 of the major systems-driven thrusts in medicine: systems medicine, a systems approach to disease, and the realization that healthcare should be predictive, preventive, personalized, and participatory, P4 medicine, and that led to the supposition that healthcare really has two major thrusts. One is wellness, one is disease, and most healthcare systems had ignored wellness. So in 2014, I persuaded 108 of my friends to join together for a 9-month period and generate for each a dynamic cloud of data, genome data, 1,200 clinical chemistry data points, the microbiome, and digital health data. And all of these led to the identification of unique arrays of actionable possibilities for each individual, which, if acted upon, improve their wellness or let them avoid disease. We created, at the end of that time, because the whole program was so popular, a company called Aerovale that took scientific wellness or quantitative wellness and brought it to the consumer. And today, that company has more than 4,000 clients. And the data from these have been revolutionary. It is going to transform how all of the healthcare industries operate in the future. And there are so many different ways we can analyze and parse these kinds of data. The final point was in the beginning of 2016, the CEO of a very large community healthcare system approached me and said, "We'd like to make you our chief science officer at ISB, our clinical our basic research partner." And in doing that, we were then able to bring P4 medicine and scientific wellness to the healthcare system for the first time. And indeed, we're creating now a type of 21st century medicine that includes systems medicine, P4 medicine, and scientific wellness that will utterly transform healthcare. One, enormously improving health of each individual. Two, being able to look at the wellness to disease transitions to get markers to identify them and reverse them. And we're actually starting to study the first early reversal of a chronic disease using Alzheimer's as a prototype and striking new therapeutic approaches. Our prediction is in 5 years, we'll be able to cure and reverse 80% of Alzheimer's disease. To put it in perspective, in the US, Alzheimer's for 5.6 million patients costs $500 billion a year. Suppose we can get rid of 80% of that in the future. And the final point I'd like to make is a personal statement to the individual students. Go out into science and engineering and have fun. That has to be the most fundamental driver. Be bold, take on big projects, work with really good people, and exhibit determined optimism, because science and engineering is hard, and you don't want to listen to the naysayers. You want to drive ahead and change the world. But the final point I'll make is maybe the most important one I'll leave you with. What is really important is to realize, as Norton Simon once told me, that if you plot out career success of an individual, for most of us, it looks like a bell-shaped curve, where time is the x-axis and success is the y-axis. He said, but you can fundamentally change that if you're willing to change careers every 10 years or so and reinstitute the insecurity and excitement that comes from learning brand new things. And as I look back over my career, I can see where that happened at a whole series of key junctures, and I feel I'm still in the new and learning stage. And I invite all of you to join me in that experience.